Good morning and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and today's video will be about the Transformers Studio Series Gamerverse War for Cybertron, Skywarp, and Starscream. I received the Starscream the last week of 2024, and I received the Skywarp the second week of 2025. So I figured I'd hold off on the Starscream until Skywarp came around. Now it's the third week of 2025, but it's okay. We got Skywarp, and that's what matters, right? We got a Skywarp. Who else has got Skywarp? I don't know how many people have Earthrise Skywarp, but I know the number is small. And I don't know how many people have Phantom Strike Skywarp, but I know that the number is smaller. Because, how many scalpers have more than 10 copies of Phantom Strike Skywarp just sitting in a closet somewhere, waiting to sell it to us for $200 a piece? You know they exist, and you know those people are waiting. But I'm not here to complain about scalpers or how they ruin the fun for all of us by making Transformers so costly that many of us can't afford it in our budget. We would like to eat our eggs and bacon instead of buying a Transformer for $100 that originally was worth $30 on the shelf. That's the important thing. And I really wish the scalpers would understand that. And raising the price, I get it, but when you shoot to the moon with that price, you really do piss a lot of us off. Just telling you that straight up. You really do piss a lot of us off. Now, let's get into Skywarp here. A Skywarp that you don't have to pay a scalper for because it's readily available. It's by itself, and it's not an exclusive. It just makes me so happy to finally have a Skywarp that doesn't have any strings attached to it. That was so annoying. You had to be an Amazon subscriber to get the original, the Siege Skywarp and the Earthrise Skywarp. Ugh. I really wish they would give us that those Skywarp bundles. They gave us Dirge and Ramjet, but we didn't want Dirge and Ramjet. We wanted Thundercracker and Skywarp, but you didn't seem to understand that that's what we wanted, Hasbro. And you gave us the Coneheads before you gave us the OG Seekers. You got to give us the OG Seekers first, then the Coneheads. You did it backwards, Hasbro. All right, and let's get into it. Before I really do, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. I know I'm all over the place sometimes, and my videos do kind of trail on, but that's because I'm trying my best to explain it for the sightless out there so that they can better understand what to expect in the box. And I'm also going to verbally explain to you how to transform them tomorrow on my Blindformers video. So if you need the verbal transformation video, check that out. My co-host Cream the Cat is here today, sleeping because she had to wake me up at 8 a.m. just to sleep for the rest of the morning. Silly guy. And now I have Skywarp and Starscream standing here in front of me. So we're going to set Starscream off to the side. I gave him his sniper rifle so I could figure out which one was which, and we're going to remove Skywarp's weapon. So let's talk about accessories and then get into the Transformers. So the weapons, each of them comes with the same mace. It's this big rubberized thing, and it's pretty big. We set it next to the Skywarp, and the top of it ends at just below his knee. Okay? That's how big these things are. And width-wise, it's as big as his leg. Okay? And it's made of rubberized plastic, so it's got a big weight to it. Ow! Mother! Ow! Yeah, you can really hurt yourself on this thing. It also has this little stick that allows the character to hold them. And it's not as nice as the sticks we got with Optimus and Megatron, where there were two of them that connected together, and so you could put their hands in the middle. That was cool. I wish they had done that again. So that's that weapon, and we get two of them, one for Skywarp and one for Starscream. And Skywarp also gets where does Skywarp's weapons go? They were right there. Where'd it go? Is that it? No. You're the it's right here. It's right here. Let's put those two hammers together, and there's Skywarp's Starscream's hand. Okay. So Skywarp also comes with this really fun missile pod. It's got 4 missiles in it, and it reminds me a lot of the missile pod we got, the 2 missile pods we got with the G.I. Joe Classified Series HasLab Dragonfly. Very similar to them, except just a little different. and it seems like a little squeezed together, more solid. You can't take the missiles off, of course, but it's still pretty neat. It's still pretty neat. And there's a siege port. There's 4 siege ports on the back, so you can plug little blast effects in to have the rockets launching. And I think that's fun. I like that. Good job, Hasbro. That was nice attention to detail right there. And then there's a siege port on the top so that Skywarp can actually hold it. And Skywarp here can remove his arm. And we can plug that siege port, which I almost lost. All right, there it is. Plug that siege port in, and then we pick this arm up off to the side. Nuts. There it goes. Okay. So because of the way the siege port is, you've got to kind of plug it off and then tilt the elbow off to the side so that it looks right. Because if you tilt the elbow down, the majority of this gun kind of leans against his waist, and I guess that's nice for kickback. But at the same time, I'm like, why is that? The siege port should have been on the far left-hand side instead of the far right-hand side, because all of these guys are right-handed. If there was a left-handed arm that you could remove, then this left-hand port would be a lot better. So to make it make sense, just bend it at that knee, at that elbow, and there you go. That's pretty nice. I kind of like it. I think it's fun. And I like the fact it turns Skywarp into something from Mechasult, okay? Like a little vulture. Oh yeah, the vultures are the ones that had the little gun barrels. Or was it the Mad Cat? Yeah, it was the Mad Cat with the missile pod hanging out. So yeah, it turns him into something akin to a Mad Cat. All right, there we go. Or was that the wolf, the Timber Wolf? Been a while since I've played Mechasult. Been a while. So that's the accessories he comes with. Pretty nice ones in my opinion. I like the giant rubberized hammer. Let's see, does Cream like the giant rubberized hammer? Cream, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. I'm not nearly hitting Cream as hard as I hit myself earlier. Just so you know, I'm not mistreating my favorite animal. Who's a good cat? You're a good cat. All right, so let's get into this. So like normal, we're going to start from the toes and work our way to the head. So foot-wise, we've got on the underside of the feet, we've got a siege port on each side, and a lot of waffling on the underside. There's lots of gappage going on here. But don't worry, this is the only place you see waffling in the entire figure. And that gives this guy a thumbs up. No waffling is always a pleasant surprise for a Transformers fan and a collector. Now, his legs are, they're big, like cones. So at the bottom, they're wide, and then they kind of taper off to the knee on each side, and close that up a bit. The texture-wise on it, very minimalistic textures. We got some etchings on the sides of the legs, but for the most part, this is all just smooth painted plastic. Very shiny feeling, so I'm guessing it's got that glossy, it makes it like, glimmer and shine in the right light, which is really cool. I like the knee pads. I think the knee pads are fun. And then up here, we've got the thighs, which they actually did things with. So we got these little bits on the side. We got some etchings in there. But the thigh is definitely not just a rectangle. It's got some sculpted details into it. And that's because as part of transformation, it's going to be visible. So they put the extra attention into the thighs instead of when they hide the thighs and they just like, yeah, we're not going to texture these. We're not going to really do anything with these. And I don't like that. So definitely a bonus for me about that. Knees pulled maximum all the way back. They're pretty good. Not double jointed, but they do lock. I really appreciate the locking mechanism there. Hips, kick forward just a little more 90, kick back just a little more 90, kick at the side, add a 90. And then there is there's an ankle, a waist rotation, but it's not 360. It's only a little bit, and there is no rotation for any other part of the leg. Oh, and there's ankle tilt. I forgot to mention the ankle tilt. Now, coming up here to the groin, we've got some decent textures going on with the groin. I like the fact that he's got this weird tail feeling thing that comes down the back of his butt, and I like that. I like that's new, that's interesting, that's weird, and I enjoy it. It's just something unique. Starscream also has that texture. Now, coming up here to the core of the body, we've got this really nice canopy. It's big and wide. Many people have been annoyed by its bigness, but I'm like, it works. All right, the canopy is always going to be just varying sizes. At least it's not a fake canopy, right? Now, on here on the side of the canopy, we actually get vents. Where are my vents? There's my vents. Oh, I love my vent action, and it's so nice to get a hold of vents. The only vents available in this set are around the canopy, which I do say is kind of a missed opportunity. Should be more vents in more places, in my opinion. Now we come up here to the head area, and we got these two little wingdings that you have to attach separately. They come wrapped in the tissue paper, so don't lose them. And they make up his collarbone. And then we have his head. And his head's got some decent textures to it, but you can totally tell this is a head of a seeker. And it's like Starscream's head, but most likely he's got a different expression on his mouth. I think he's got a little bit of a smirk. And yeah, that's the body line. Flip it around here to the back, and we've got we've got two siege ports, one behind each of these little winglings, and yeah, I call them winglings. And there's some textures on these little winglings, but not many. It's all right. It's decent texture, though. You got this little like bar that comes up to support it. And I think that had they put these guys on some hinges so that you could just fold them flat, I think that would have been better. But I don't remember if they stuck out like that in the game or not. Now, coming over here to the arm, we've got the arm is got a little bit of a blade attachment to it. Feels sharp. Feels like he can cut an Autobot with his arms or with his shoulder blades, like, you know, little bit legitimately shoulder blades. And then in here we've got some texturing around the upper arm area, but not much because of the weird joints they put in here for the arm for the hand gimmick. And we come down here, and his loose arm, it's got decent textures on it. Nothing to really write home about, but definitely not not the regular textures. Ooh, there's some vents in that forearm guard. He's got vents in the forearm guard, and that's awesome. I love it. So that is Skywarp, a very fun action figure in my opinion. Oh, and I forgot to say, his head pulls a maximum. Just look up at the ceiling. It doesn't look forward too far, or down too far, but it does look at the ceiling pretty well. And he can also look left and look right. Pretty good guy. Pretty good guy overall. And then to finish the video out, let's come over here to Starscream, which has nothing. I mean, Starscream and him, and Skywarp here, are identical, except in their facial expressions and the accessories, because Starscream came with this really fun sniper rifle. And we haven't gotten really a sniper rifle before. You know, something I would declare as a sniper rifle because it has a very long barrel. And we finally get something that has a very long barrel. And I like the triangle tip it has. It's neat. It ends in a triangle. That's fun. The barrel itself is really nice, and then it comes over to all the mechanics of the gun, and the gun, of course, plugs into Starscream's missing hand. You know, you take the hand off, and the gun plugs in. That's really fun. That's really neat, and I like it. Everything else about Starscream is the same as Skywarp. There's not anything really different going on here, except maybe how I transformed something on his back, which is totally what's going on there. Let me fix this real quick. Can I fix this real quick? Yeah. Spin this back. I'm going to rotate this around. There it goes. All right, so that's fixed. And then you rotate that around, and that's fixed. Nice. And we can close this back up. Fixed. I did it that quick. That's nice. And then there's a siege port on each side, just like normal. These figures are both a lot of fun, and I can't wait for Thundercracker to come out, because you can't give us two of them without giving us Thundercracker. We got Starscream, Skywarp, and now we need the one that ruins it. The alliteration, we need the one that starts with a T. I know. I wish they had called him Seismic or, Sonar or something like that. So you could Starscream, Skywarp, and Sonar. Yeah, that would have been neat. But instead, we got Thundercracker. Breaks up the mold. And that's nice because he's the one seeker that thinks differently than all the others. You know, he actually cares about living things, and he worries about how many things he takes down. And he generally joins the Autobots eventually. So that's cool. That's like Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe. You know, he's a bad guy, but eventually he joins the G.I. Joes. And that's the same with Thundercracker. Bad guy who just gets tired of it and joins the Joes. Well, I've had a lot of fun explaining to you these action figures today in a way that a blind person can best understand. At least I hope I described it in a way a blind person can understand. I'm never quite sure about this. But if you are a blind person, let me know in the comments below. And let me know if I described it in a way that you could understand it. Because I'm always looking to improve. Life is about constant improving yourself. one of the joys. Cream, do you have anything to add to the end of the video? No, I just shook him. He picked his head up, and then he laid his head back down to go back to sleep. I've been Blind Prime, and that sleepy thing over there has been Cream the Cat. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to help me reach more sightless out there. And until next Prime, bye-bye for now.